Hello everyone, you're welcome to Literature Hub 247, a free online literature class. This video is about an African novel titled So the Past Does Not Die. Earlier on this platform, we discussed the prologue as well as chapters 1 and 2 of this novel. So you can request for the link to those videos if you have not watched it. So this is chapter 3 of So the Past Does Not Die. In chapter 2, on the advice of the headers of Talaba, Finaba and her parents leave for Freetown. Let's see what happens to them in Freetown. So the past does not die. Chapter 3. Finaba and her parents are now in Freetown, the land that was once a refuge for free slaves. They are to live with Alhaji Umaru, Amadu's uncle, who is a successful businessman. He became wealthy because he was the major supplier of building materials to the federal government during the preparation to host the Organization of African Unity Conference in 1980. The family arrives at Umaru's compound at the same time a man named Christian Hedu, aka Pa Hedu, drives into the compound. The man is a senior civil servant and has come to Umaru to conduct government business. After his assignments in the house, Umaru recommended Amadu as a trustworthy worker to Pa Hedu. The latter employs Amadu instantly as an all-purpose laborer and security guard for his new site. Alhaji Umaru also secures a nighttime security job for Amadu at the home of a Lebanese partner. Nabo, that is Finaba's mother. Nabo is pregnant, stays at home and engages in petty trading, selling boiled eggs, oranges, and cigarettes. She is able to enroll Finaba in school from the proceeds she gets from petty trading and cash gifts from Alhaji Umaru. A few weeks into the job, a woman named Mama Gina, who owns a food store opposite Pa Edu's site, opens Amadu's eyes to a brisk business. She approaches him with 20 leons for 1 or 2 of the 8x4 wood planks that are not useful for them. I think that is a Sierra Leonean denomination of their currency. Mama Gina also sends a plate of potato leaves served over brown rice to him. The following morning, Mama Gina again shows up with another woman who offers Amadu 25 leons for 2 bags of cement. Amadu initially feels guilty about the business, but when he listens to the revelations from Alhaji Umaru that Pa Hedu siphons the government material for his site, he now continues the business fully. Mama Gina serves as an agent who brings customers, while Amadu provides the materials. Within 3 months in Freetown, Amadu is able to rent a 1-bedroom apartment that is not far from his place of work and Finaba's school. Amadu is happy in the new house and tells Finaba that she is free to do as she likes. No one will make her feel like an outsider because she's not an initiate. No, she was not an initiator. That is, the man is trying to make reference to Talaba. That is nobody going to disturb her there for the fact that she has not been initiated, that she's free to do whatever she likes. Nabu's pregnancy gives birth to Isa. The freedom to choose one's path and the injunction of Baramusu for Finaba to be a leader prompts her to decide to be different. Her goal is to become a dentist, like the American dentist who attended to her at the free dental clinic. It's almost a year since they arrived in Freetown that Amadu died of tetanus poisoning. He got the wound from the corrugated iron sheets on the site. He refused to go to the hospital as advised by Mama Gina the day it happened. His fear is that he could be sacked by his boss if not met on duty. Pa Hedu has warned him several times before, threatening to sack him if found wanting again. He is waiting to get proper permission from him when he comes, but he dies while waiting. At the burial of Amadu, Paedo tells Nabu not to hesitate to come to him if she needs help. A few weeks later, Nabu goes to Paedo that she needs to pay for rent, Finaba's school fees, and formula for Isha, that is the baby, the newborn baby. Paedo gives her 200 leons that day and gives her lesser amount on her subsequent visit to him. Alhaji Umaru has earlier offered to marry her, but Nabu refuses. She fears that Umaru might insist that the girls go through initiation, which she will not support. Nabu and Finaba go to Paedo's office one day for another monetary assistance. He tells them to wait for him and will be back in 5 minutes. 5 hours later, Paedo shows up and gives Nabu 25 leons. Paedo proposes there that Finaba should come and live with his family. He says he has a girl of Finaba's age with whom she can play and study together. Nabu initially doesn't want to buy the idea, but thinks of the conditions of herself and her daughter. Nabu agrees eventually, but still has to wait for the response of Mrs. Edu. That is Paedo's wife. Mrs. Edu opposes the idea of bringing Finaba to the house by her husband. Paedo answers a lot of questions about the upkeep of Finaba in the house. The following week, Nabu brings Finaba to Edo's. All eyes are on Finaba as they enter the house, where Paedo and Mrs. Edu sit majestically. Finaba has to endure all the inspections about her physique. After Nabu hands her over to the family and she turns to leave, Finaba rushes to her mother and grabs her. Nabu hugs her and pushes her back to the Edos and amid tears. She pushes her back to the Edos amid tears. Mrs. Edu then summons the whole house and introduces Finaba to them. She tells them her name and advises them to call her Fina for easy pronunciation. That is, she thinks that pronouncing Finaba might somewhat be difficult for them. So now shorten it to Fina for them to be able to pronounce it easily. She tells Finaba to call her Auntie Matty and Paedo Uncle Christian. Finaba is to sleep on a separate bed in Edna's room. Edna is the nearest in age to Finaba. She is 12 years old, while Finaba is 13 years old. Finaba is not treated differently from the children in the house, but she is at times at a disadvantage as a result of competition for attention by the children. One of Finaba's major chores on Saturday mornings is ironing heaps of clothes with a shaky charcoal iron. However, Fina enjoys TGK's music on the radio while ironing. As he enjoys the music and imagines dancing with Kemi Coker, a boyfriend in the neighborhood, a globe of ash falls on Ade's shirt. Ade sees it before Finaba finds a solution to it and promises to retaliate. That is, Ade thinks that Finaba does it intentionally. That's why she promised to retaliate. That is, to pay Finaba back. Ade carried out the revenge as promised later that day. One of her dresses is ripped from hem to collar, and the photograph of her mother is torn. When Auntie Matty demands an explanation from Ade for his behavior, he explains that Fina burnt his shirt. Fina defends herself that it was a mistake. Auntie Matty then shuts her up and says she does the same to her by breaking her Tudor porcelain fast and putting bleach on her skirt. She also reprimanded Ade to control his temper. That night, Fina holds the torn photograph of her mother close to her chest. She cries silently for herself, her mother and father, Balamusu and Talaba, that's their village. It is the long summer holidays of her second year in the Hedo's house. Fina is 15 and she's going to be a beautiful lady. Her foster parents have gone to work and other children are not around. Fina wakes up late that morning and Edna is not in the room. She just walks up to the window and sees Ade and his friends hurling stones at mangoes and picking it, instead of them climbing the tree and plucking the mangoes. In the course of throwing the stone to pluck mangoes, one big stone fell on Keno, the son of Ali, their houseboy. Before Fina could shout to stop the boy from the window, the stone fell on his forehead. In the evening, Ali takes Keno, whose head is bandaged, to Pahedu to report the case. Pahedu, who is irritated, gives some loan note to Ali and promises to discipline Ade. Ali collects the money and thanks his boss. He has that he would have gone to the police if Pahedu had not been good to him. Pahedu stands up suddenly and brings out more notes for Ali. He pays his salary for the next 2 months, gives him money for his boy treatment, and drops a bunch of notes in Ali's pocket. Pahedu then says that Ali is relieved of his work since he's threatening to kill and involve the police. He ordered him to leave the compound before he came back from work the following day. The following day, an Omolanke is seen cutting away at his properties for the compound. Omolanke is a cat, that is a cat that carries a load. Some months later, Fina is invited by Kemi Koka, her boyfriend, to his birthday party. She is anxious to attend as it is the first party she will be attending alone. Auntie Matty unfazed the beautiful red dress she will wear to the party. She also tells Kennedy to follow Fina to the party. Taiwo will take care of her hair, while Mami Nosi will make sure she heals before going to the party. There is also an argument between Pahedu and Auntie Matty about who takes Fina to the party. It is resolved that Pahedu should drop her at the party. Fina is already dressed for the party. Mami Nosi prepares her food and goes out. She's waiting for Pahedu to come and pick her. Pahedu arrives late that Friday. He announces to his wife that he's not able to pick Fina for the party. Auntie Matty says he should have sent his driver to pick up Fina. She leaves the dining room in annoyance and Pahedu follows her. Edna has been to their room and Fina is nowhere to be found. Phone calls are made to the people, but she is not found. Taiwo is then asked where she went after dressing up Fina. She says she went to get her history book from the next door. Her mother alleges that she has gone to meet Sanfa, her boyfriend. When Pahedu overhears that, he brings out his belt and starts beating Taiwo. As Taiwo bows from the room to the hallway, she knocks Fina backward as she comes around the corner. Pahedu, Fina, her whereabouts. As Pahedu asks Fina about her whereabouts. Sorry about that. Pahedu asks Fina about her whereabouts. That is, they have been looking for her before now. Pahedu asks Fina her whereabouts. Fina says she's in her room. Pahedu faces anger on Fina and beats her mercilessly. Auntie Matty intervenes to stop her husband, but can't. Pahedu continues the beating. Auntie Matty orders her to her room, but she walks to the bathroom, where she bathes. Edna later joins her in the bedroom and asks her whereabouts. She explains. Pahedu asks Fina her whereabouts. Fina says she's in her room. Pahedu faces anger on Fina and beats her mercilessly. Auntie Matty intervenes to stop her husband, but can't. Pahedu continues the beating. Auntie Matty orders her to her room, but she walks to the bedroom where she bathes. Edna later joins her in the bedroom and asks her whereabouts. She explains that when Pahedu didn't pick her up again, she went upstairs crying and slept off under the bed. When she woke up, she heard Auntie Matty calling Taiwo. That's when she came out. Pahedu discovers that he wronged Fina by beating her. He then tries to make amendments one way or the other. She buys gifts and books for her and allows her to attend the Saturday afternoon jump. He also reduces the work she does at home. During one of Fina's visits to her mother, Mama Gina asks her whether they are treating her well. The body language of Fina makes Mama Gina comment that Pahedo is wicked and that, if not him, Fina's father will still be alive. Labu cautions Mama Gina not to poison Fina's mind with her utterances. After Mama Gina leaves, Fina shows the marks on her body from the beatings received from Pahedo. She says she wants to come home. Her mother advises her to stay there till she goes to college. She urges her to endure the little pains. Fina returns to the Hedos that night and is determined to endure to set an example for Isa. She tries to remember something about her father but couldn't. Tears roll down her face and do not wipe them. Mama Gina's words have formed an annoyance in her mind towards the Edos, including the children. Fina does endure and grow into a beautiful lady. She is later admitted to Crowder College, the citadel of Sierra Leonean learning. That is chapter 3 of So the Path Does Not Die. Now, let's meet in chapter 4. Fina has now been admitted into the Crowder College. In chapter 4, we are going to see what happens to Fina in Crowder College. Now, if you are new on this platform, try and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever any video is produced. And you are free to share our videos on any social media platform. Like the video, introduce this platform to your friends and colleagues, also to your students. If you have any question or any comment, send it to the comment section and it will be attended to. Thank you and God bless. Let's meet in the next chapter.